Welcome back, family, to Can We Talk with Juel podcast, proudly sponsored by fundraisingcup.org Ministries. I want to thank you all for your continued support, and please continue to donate because every penny helps. As you can see today, I'm on the go, guys, but never off the job. And I'm excited because I'm here with one of our dynamic duo web developers, Mr. Calil Hall, who has,
Calil.
hi, Calil, sorry,
Yeah, there
Hall,
you
who's done a phenomenal job with our website. And our viewers were so intrigued with who was behind the camera that we kind of wheeled him in today to ask him a few questions. So we are so happy to have you here with us today, Calil.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's been phenomenal working with you, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have.
Great. So Calil, it seems as if after you've done this amazing work with fundraisingcup.org, it seems you've done this masterpiece almost to sort of say, right? So where did you learn how to do web developing?
So, my partner Angelo started when he was very young. He started coding since he was like 13, and he's just been building on the skill for a long time. Him and I met at what's called the Apple Developer Academy, which is downtown Detroit. It's only one of them in the U.S. actually. And we just kind of like combined our design thinking. I went to Michigan State for like marketing, so I was just kind of getting into like the web development, making the looks and stuff like that. And then we just kind of started getting into AI, which obviously that started booming not too long ago, maybe a year or two. And once you kind of know what it can do and you start digging, you start figuring stuff out, you learn some new skills along the way. And then you end up here where, you just trying to build something for yourself. And that's one of the best skills you can have right now.
Absolutely. The tech market, I think, is still booming. With all the recent developments with AI, you guys still have a really good niche in helping us kind of get off the ground and getting our websites together. So I think you picked a perfect pathway with the direction you guys are going in.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Um,
hear that. Yep.
Excellent. So, what programming languages and tools do you find essential in your daily web adventures? Do you have a holy grail code that you swear by?
Okay, so most websites are coded in like HTML. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Average stuff is going to be like JavaScript, CSS. Learning how to use something like a Firebase, which is like super, deep. But that's like web
Mm-hmm.
hosting stuff. Um, ChatGPT is your best friend. It can help you a lot, but it can't do the work for you. Right? It can define
Mm-hmm.
things for you, can help you learn terminology, but you still have to kind of learn the base pieces. So, but you could literally go ask ChatGPT right now the same question, right? Like, what are the base key things I need to learn to build a website? Definitely something I would tell people if you are starting to get into building websites would be learn what Bootstrap is. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, to simplify it, it's kind of like you can take pieces that people have already coded out, like a navigation bar or something like that, and plug and play it into your website. And it has multiple coding languages on there. So play around with that if you're trying to do something yourself. Um, Wix is great, Squarespace is great, but the best is probably WordPress if you're ever going to go make a website yourself. And you're not
Mm-hmm.
hard coding it. Well, with WordPress, you are kind of hard coding it, but you're not. You can affect the hard code, but with Wix, it's more of kind of like Legos. You're not really in the background of it, which is what a lot of people do. But then when they come across me and what we're doing, it kind of makes their Wix websites look a lot worse. So then,
Mm-hmm.
make that jump.
So, what are some of the common mistakes that some of your clients make in trying to get their website off the ground?
First, probably not like similar to what you did, but not what you did, but the opposite of what you did, rather. You
Yeah.
found as soon as you found something going wrong, you reported it to us, right? And then we were able to go service that stuff. a lot of people don't even go check their website. Like they might be like, okay, I have a website now, but they're not like actively. And don't get me wrong, we're looking too, but it's your
Mm-hmm.
business, if that makes sense. So if something in the day
Yeah.
to day is happening, we're busy. You gotta let us know. So I'd say just not being super diligent about that part, and then not making a point to like get reviews or feedback from the people you're working with. I'd say if you're trying to start a business right now, I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's the same for a nonprofit, but if you're trying to start a business and you do work with people, a lot of people do word of mouth. Most people are word of mouth. So just be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, can after the work is done, can I get a review for you? Can you go to Google and give me a review? I'd say that's a mistake, or I wouldn't even say a mistake so much as like an avenue people could really be making money off of.
That makes sense. So let's move to industry insights. What emerging trends in web development are you most excited about?
Well, so well, Google just changed the way that websites come up in the search engine. So it's not so much web development such as SEO.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they are making it so that it's not as important to have a bunch of backlinks. So what people are doing is they're making thousands and hundreds of thousands of pages on the high end, 15, 20, 30, 50,000 pages. And what's happening is each page kind of is like a backlink, and it makes you more relevant in Google. Like it's how you tag stuff. It's like what you come up under. So for example, for you come up under church if someone search it, or fundraising, or like blah, 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 blah. And the more tags that you have backlinking your website, the more likely you are to come up in that search, right? But
Uh-huh.
people were making AI that were automating websites. So they're putting up 7,000, 10,000 new websites a day, which is just like Google had to cut that out. And now they're focusing a lot more on AI search. So this is basically like if you go into a Chat GPT, a Perplexity, Google Gemini, and I think that's what they're going to be using. So Google's Gemini. If you
Yeah.
go into there and you use the AI search, that's going to become the new search. So when you're going on Google, it's not going to be just you doing a Google search. It's going to be like you using Gemini AI search, right? And in this, ratings are about to be extremely important. So the AI, the way it's when it's searching the internet, it's not necessarily looking so much for the backlinks and the backlogs and stuff like that, because it can easily cipher through these things to see that they're not fundamentally improving the user experience. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
ratings obviously are pretty hard, pretty concrete. So that's why I push that if you do have a business, that ratings are going to be more important than ever, because everyone's going to start searching with AI. And you might not think so, right? Like you're in your, you're up there in age. You might think, oh, I still, do this. No, man, your kids aren't, their kids aren't, we aren't. People and a lot of people are starting to come with the program because they're making it even easier. If you have an iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
AI is just in your
Yeah.
face now. Siri, we've had it for years. So long story short, ratings are important, and AI is really going to be big and really should be learned by everyone.
Excellent. Let's wrap up with a quick fire question. What's the
Please.
most frequently asked question you get from clients?
Outside of the price, because everyone's always going to ask about price, it's always, do you do SEO? So what I found, and I think this is what kind of brings what everything else I was saying home. Do you do SEO? Because a lot of people have websites, the .com boom where everyone was making a website, back in the day. So a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
still have websites, even if they don't update it. But SEO is this new phenomenon where, search engine optimization, everyone's like, trying to get placed higher on Google. That's how you get ranked, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the emerging trend. Like so much is not even leaning away from websites, but leaning into SEO and how you can help people do that. That's probably the number one question I get though. Do you do SEO?
Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. A big thank you to Calil for sharing his wisdom and insight. Shout out to Angelo, who's not with us today, but
Yeah,
definitely, I'm sure he's behind the scenes saving the world one website at a time.
absolutely.
Um, if you're looking for an incredible website experience, look no further than Easyweb Studios. And speaking from experience, I am very, very proud of the work they've done for fundraisingcup.org ministries.
Thank you.
And here's a glowing testimonial from one of their happy clients. So it's been great working with you, Calil.
I really appreciate it, and I thank you again so much.
You are absolutely welcome, and we look forward to having you back on the podcast soon as
Definitely.
things continue to develop.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I want to get in front of the camera more, so we'll be doing.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for coming on board. And those of you that are continuing to keep up with our podcast, we are still streaming both on Spotify as well as YouTube. So you can catch our last podcast in those two locations. And until we meet again, thank you and have a good one.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot. Bye bye.